Hello, welcome back to Blind with a Vision. Anna here sharing another video from Anna's World, and today answering the question about what is a white ID cane. I just did a video for my Spanish speaking subscribers who they've been asking about what a white ID cane is, so I thought I would also share this with my English speaking subscribers. If you happen to be blind, if you have low vision, if you are going through the stage of feeling embarrassed about having to use a white cane, stick around. This information about the white ID cane might be, I don't know, helpful. And if you happen to be sighted, stick around. It's always helpful if my sighted people learn about my blind population, my blind people, and how we function. And you help us spread awareness about just the blind population overall. Okay, so I have retinitis pigmentosa. I know how it is, you know, to start with night blindness and then gradually lose your sight in a way that is getting worse and worse, and you know, going through years being able to see but not being able to see. I don't know, looking through that tunnel vision. And when you have retinitis pigmentosa or a similar eye condition, when you're out there and you're able to see but it's so bright, shiny, when the sun is just bothering you and you have to go inside a building, it's like you have to wait for a couple of minutes to adjust your sight and then you're bumping on things, right? I also know how it is to go through the stage of feeling embarrassed about friends and people and family members seeing us with a cane and friends disappearing. Oh my gosh, I know how it is. So let me tell you what a white ID cane is. First, I'll make a description for my blind subscribers. And for you, if you have low vision, I'm gonna get my cane close to the screen. Maybe you're able to see it. It's folded, it's very small. It looks like a bunch of crayons or so, a waitress told me once. Once I went to a restaurant and this waitress, I put my white ID cane folded the way it is right now on the table. And she looked at it and she goes, "Why do you have that bunch of crayons? White crayons?" Because the white ID cane is very small. It's just to identify yourself as a person with a visual disability, blind or visually impaired. And as the name says it, ID cane, white ID cane, is just a white cane for the blind. Identification, because it's a cane to identify yourself, not really to actually walk out there on the street, although I will share with you how you can also use it out on the street and when. It's very thin. Okay, I'm gonna open it up. It's just for me because I'm little tiny and cute. It's only for the size that I have is 50 inches. Okay, it goes under my armpit. Okay, and I'll tell you, there is a controversy about what size of cane you should get. Okay, everyone tells you something different, but oh well. Okay, so this is 50 inches. Okay, it's also known, I'm gonna show the tip. It's a straight tip, like a pencil tip. It's also known as the pencil white ID cane, identification cane, because really it's so thin. I'm serious. It's like a pen, the thickness, and it has all the same, you know, the elastic thing on the top. And it has different sections. Okay, this one is fiberglass, so it's very light. It's not it's very light, so easy to close and open. I'm gonna show you how many sections it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last one has the red color, you know, for this to glow in the dark when we are out there and drivers are able to see us for safety issues. So, and then it has on the top, you know, the elastic that you just folded. It's so small and practical. It just fits in any purse. I'm serious, I carry this in my small purse, and even I just put it in the back of my jeans pocket when I'm out there in the store. I have used this for years, and I started using it years ago when I was starting to go blind. And I was taking an Italian class in college, and we were supposed to go to the opera, and I got all pretty with my long dress and my makeup and my high heels and everything. And when we were ready to go to the opera, all I needed was my cane. Here I'm gonna show my regular cane. Here is, look, if you're sighted and you have low vision, you're able to see my white cane. My regular white cane is folded. The ID cane is folded. Have this like kind of standing on the table. See the difference? The ID cane is so small and tiny, and the regular white cane is so huge and thick, and I felt so ugly. I go like, oh my gosh, there goes my dress and my opera outing. And I just told my ex, my boyfriend, I go like, oh my gosh, I wish they would they would have canes that are cute and small. And I joke about, you know, having a cane with diamonds and pink and different colors. And then after that I researched and I found this cane. I'll tell you where I purchased this and where is. I always get it. I've been having this for years, and I always carry this in my purse. I have, even as a guide dog user, I have carried this one. And when do you use this? Okay, again, it's an identification cane. So this is just to identify yourself as a blind person. Okay, now it's perfect for me when, you know, I went to the opera, when I go to the, you know, theater to see plays, and I'm going with someone. When I'm just, you know, doing the sighted guide, when someone is guiding me, and I don't really have to worry about, you know, my orientation and mobility, and I'm just holding to someone. And some people, I know some blind people, they go like, oh, Anna, I don't even carry my cane. I just hold on to my husband, boyfriend, whatever. But in my opinion, sometimes we walk a little weird because we're not sure if there is a step up and down, and our sighted guide is forgetting, and you don't want to hit yourself. So with this, it's so easy, because even going to the opera, you know, it's so easy just to feel the steps, and especially if you have, you know, heels, and you just feel indoors and I don't know, walls and whatever is to your right, so you don't hit yourself. I mean, we already have the blindness. You don't want to hit your nose or something else and then have another issue. And we don't stress the sighted guy. Sometimes, you know, I remember as I was going blind, seeing totally blind people holding onto someone, and they would walk a little funny, like they were insecure. So you look a little weird. And then when people is talking to you, this has happened to me sometimes when I don't bring my cane, or which is rarely, now that my guide retired, and I've been just holding on to a friend or whatever, and people are talking to me and they don't know that I'm blind. You know, the typical thing about, oh, you don't look blind, whatever that means. And when we have the white ID cane, I mean, it's so thin, but it's just a white cane. So right away, most people will know that you're visually impaired. Okay, so using this inside buildings, in those particular situations when you want to go to a party and you don't really want to bring the huge ugly cane, just for you, so people can identify you, this is perfect. Okay, now another way that I have used this is in the office as a guide dog user. You know, I'm taking my 15-minute break, and you know, my guide dog is sleeping under my desk. It's on a tie down, deeply sleep. I have to wake him up, get the harness on, and whatever. And my 15-minute break is just, you know, I have to go to the restroom, get a drink, whatever. So it's so easy. Or even when you just have to go to the restroom during work time, you know, just getting my ID cane. I already know the office, the restroom is usually so accessible. You know, there is carpet or floor, whatever. I just get my ID cane and I go quickly, you know, come back, start working again. And of course, during break time, I have to take my guide dog out, but this is perfect. Also for those situations when you are out there and you just, maybe, I don't know, you want to get to know the surrounding, to see what's there. Maybe a bus stop, filling a bus stop or whatever. Even though with guide dogs, I mean, they're so good at finding specific things like trash cans and bus stops. But if this is a place that you're not familiar with, this is a great way to just take it out and see your surroundings. I mean, very often having a guide dog, we're just used to the guide dog, but this is a spare tire. This is how we see things. So having an ID cane, if you don't want to carry the regular cane, it's a way for you to see the surroundings, right? So this is perfect. Okay, now I also use this when I go to the store to buy clothing and, you know, just shoes and whatever, to those department stores. As a guide dog user, guide dogs walk so fast, they run. And for me, I just want to be checking shoes, you know, seeing shoes, quote unquote seeing, with my hands, with my finger eyes, with my hand eyes. And so I let the harness go, take out my cane, and just start, seeing whatever is there. And it's so light that very often I just put it under my right armpit, and I'm just videotaping, because I'm always videotaping out there with my left hand, feeling shoes or clothes or whatever I'm looking with the right hand, and I'm just walking, and the cane is so light. It's very light. So that's how I use it, inside the store. And then just when I want to go to another area in the store, say looking for makeup, I pick up the harness, or very often I just walk around with the ID cane, because even though it's a kind of like a pencil ID cane and very light, it's pretty good. It's not weak at all. It's good. So those are some situations that I use it most of the time. I know if you have low vision, when we have low vision, you're able to see and you're not. There are when you're on the street and it's so there is the sun is just really bothering you and you're not able to see. Sometimes we get a little confused and maybe you're not able to see steps, or I don't know, cracks on the floor, or even when you walk into a store and you're not able to, you just have to adjust your sight. Maybe having a cane, a white ID cane, if you don't want the regular one because you're embarrassed or you just don't really need it, having this in your purse would work, honestly. It's a spare tire for anything that could happen, right? And for those who have low vision, have told me that it is confusing sometimes getting on the bus, because sometimes you don't feel sure about the steps. Using this one is perfect, honestly. And it's a great way for you just to be walking down the street, because when we have low vision, it's like one of the advantages of having low vision is that walking out there is a little, I guess, quote unquote, different than when we are totally blind. When we're totally blind, we totally rely on hearing and really following our mobility and orientation and mobility skills. When we have low vision, we still use our sight, but sometimes we think we are able to see and sometimes we're not. So maybe having an ID cane would be perfect. Now, if you're going through the stage of feeling embarrassed about having to use a cane, maybe this would be great. I was telling my people, my Spanish-speaking subscribers, someone from Argentina sent me a message saying that he's been in the house for 5 years and he has low vision and he's so embarrassed to go out and he's so depressed about it. And I totally understand. We all go through the grieving process differently. Sometimes, we stay more in the depression stage than others. Sometimes we just go through that quickly. It just depends who we are. And I don't like to push the idea that you have to use a cane because it's something personal. It's a personal decision. I just know that it is helpful. I remember when I was going to college and I was 20 and I was all depressed, and I used to sit at the front of the class so I could record the class, but also because the chairs on the front, those are the chairs that I was able to see, and I didn't want to, I don't know, go in the back and sit on someone. And I started using a cane. Everything became easier, but I was very resistant. I used to just bump on on walls and trash cans, and people would look at me like, is she drunk or is she crazy or what? And I reached the point where I just had to use my cane, and I used to hide it 2 blocks away from home. But one day my uncle, he saw me and I was so embarrassed. So I totally understand this subscriber that messaged me from Argentina saying, Ana, I would love to just be out there like you do. It took me a while, but and now I can live without my guide dog. I'm guide dog dependent, and I can live without my white cane. I don't know. I always carry this ID cane, and of course now that my guide dog retired, I use my regular white cane, but I also carry this in my purse also, just in case. I was telling this subscriber in Argentina that it is embarrassing because we're going through that stage, but I gave the example that if you go out there and a friend happens to see you, you probably will feel more embarrassed and you're gonna feel bad and you're gonna go home thinking about it, because that happened to me with my friends from college. All my friends that we used to hang out and whatever, they used to say like, oh, no, Anna, you're not losing your sight. It's like they were in denial with me. And as soon as they saw me with a cane, they disappear. But I had 20/20 vision straight ahead, and I remember waiting for the bus and my friends passing by. I could see them, and they stopped talking to me. And I used to go home and just, crying about it. So I understand. So this subscriber, what I was telling him is that yes, maybe having an ID cane would be great idea, because he just can use it whenever he was for a walk, even if it's around the block. And just use it if he thinks it's, needed. Maybe there's a spot, or I don't know, around the block where he just gets confused and he can just take out the cane. But I told him, if you happen to run into a friend that knows you, yes, you're gonna feel embarrassed and they're gonna ask questions, or they're just gonna ignore you the way that happened to me or has happened to other people. And yes, they're gonna go home and they're gonna tell, maybe during dinner time, they're gonna tell the family, oh, I saw Anna, she's going blind. I feel so sorry, she's blind and she's already walking with a stick, whatever. But guess what? They're gonna talk about it, but they're not really gonna be thinking about it 24/7. The one that is gonna be thinking about 24/7 is you, nobody else. And you might be thinking about it for the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole year, for years. And other people, sighted people, they go on with their lives. They do feel for us, I'm sure. They feel sorry or bad that happened to us, but they don't stop. They don't stay home depressed about it. The ones that stay depressed in the house is us. And I know we all have, I don't know, we go through this process differently. But the way to get independent and autonomous is us. And if you can do it starting with a cane, which is, this is how we see. This is how we see everything out there, our surroundings, even in the house. I was telling my Spanish subscribers that even in the house, if you have a huge house and you're already experiencing vision loss, you can practice at home with your cane, with one of these canes. So you don't feel like it's the huge cane. I call it ugly cane, but it's not ugly at all, because it's my eyes, it's my way of seeing now, especially now that I don't have a guide dog. You can practice at home. Just, I always say that our challenge as a blind person starts since the moment we wake up and we put our feet on the floor, on the carpet. We have to watch every single movement. It is mentally tiring being blind from my point of view, because we have to measure steps, we have to watch for walls. But if you start practicing with your cane, and one of these canes at home would be great, because this is a good practice for you to start measuring dimensions, feeling how vibrations feel when you are seeing with your cane, and start practicing from your room to the living room, and then practice your hand movement, learning how to move, how you feel things, and practicing going to the living room, then to your patio, then going to the front door, going out on the sidewalk, a few steps, go back, next day go a few steps more beyond home, half block, and then when you get to the corner, maybe you want to do what I do. If you see someone on the corner, say, hey, excuse me, are you crossing the street? And if they say yes, and I say, may I follow? I always say, may I follow you? And they say, sure. When I hold on, I say, no, I'll follow you with my guide dog, or even with my cane. But now I say, sure, I'll follow you. I'm serious. That's the point that you need to reach, especially if you have a condition like retinitis pigmentosa, or a similar condition where the eye condition is just getting worse. I know I have friends who they've been with low vision and RP and low vision for the longest time, and it's great. What a blessing. But if you're limiting yourself because you don't want anyone to see you with a cane, I totally understand. But at the end, family they love us. Friends, I'm sure they feel for us. But at the end, they care and they don't care. And what I did, people always ask me, Anna, why are you so independent? You know why? Because I get upset about it. I get upset about my family reacting differently. I get upset about friends disappearing. I got upset about my ex saying that he didn't want to live with a blind girl. And guess what? I said, okay, they don't like me anymore. They don't want to be with me because I'm blind. So guess what? I'm gonna do as much as I can. So I did, and I still doing it. It is tiring. I know how it is to be blind, but then people care and they don't care. And I always say that the people that cares the most, at least for me, for Anna's world, is people that they're not even my family members, people that are strangers. I always have angels everywhere I go. So I do, at the end, I do everything. People always ask me, how do you do all those things, Anna? I do everything with your help, with his help, with her help, and everybody else's help. Take the taxi, go to a new store, and I ask, what is the door? And the driver tells me, is straight ahead. Do you want me to take you? Yes, please. I go into the store, hey, what is the customer service? You know, sometimes I just have to take out my cane. I let the harness go and take out my regular cane or my ID cane and just look for customer service. And then I go like, oh, is it over here? Is the line over here? People say, yeah, it is over here, this way. And then, you know, they're helping me, giving me assistance. So, and then, you know, I go out there by myself with people's help, but it's also because I take the decision and because I can see with my cane, my guide dog, and I carry this all the time. So I don't know, maybe if you have low vision, this is something that you maybe want to keep in your purse. You don't have to use it all the time, but maybe those situations where you just want to be safe, you know, maybe you need it. I know, I remember when I had low vision, I could see better when it was a little cloudy, but when it was so sunny, oh my gosh, like right now, I have this light in front of me, I have light perception, and it's just killing my eyes. My eyes, I don't know, I blink a lot, but I don't know, hopefully you're able to find something in this video that might help you. I know with people that is older people with those situations like or conditions like macular degeneration where you are able to see but you're not, I know it's difficult. And I know I have a master's in gerontology which studies the aging process. I know a lot of my clients have, you know, they have expressed how difficult it is to actually now use a cane and everyone seeing them with a cane and they feel embarrassed. So it happens at any stage, especially when you spend your whole life being able to see and now, you know, you're struggling with the consequences of aging, quote unquote, whatever that is. And now the blindness, I know it is challenging, but you want to make sure that you're safe and you're not going to fall and you're able just to see. And I can keep going on and on. Anyway, hope you're able to find something. So, you know, try it out inside of a building. When you go out with friends, when you go to a party, practice. Carry one of these. I purchased this from the Braille Institute in Los Angeles. Okay, I call Ambutech, I call Maxi8s. They were not able to they say they don't have this cane. Okay, so I always get it. I've been getting it from Braille Institute in LA. I'm gonna go ahead and leave their telephone number in case you want to give them a call if you live here in the United States. This is only $26. Again, it's fiberglass. I have used this for years, so they last for a long time. They do. I have used this on the street, you know, with my guide dog when, again, in those situations where I actually want to take a look what's around. I have used this when I go on trips to Mexico. I bring my regular cane, but sometimes I'm just holding on to someone and we're just running on tours. So I bring this just to feel the step when I get on the tour bus, when we go into a building. But it just depends on the terrain, you know. In other countries like in Mexico, there are holes and cracks on the street, and I have used this in Mexico where there is a lot of people in Tijuana, and I actually was able to just walk on a whole street, cross the street, but it feels a little weak because it's so light and, you know, you're used to the regular one. By the way, for this one, you don't need a mushroom tip or a rolling tip because it's so thin that you don't need that. And this, you need the rolling tip like my regular cane. This one for the regular cane, you know. I love the rolling tips, and because I use the constant contact when I walk. Well, it depends really where I'm walking. If it's just on the street, I use the constant touch. But if I'm on some locations where I'm following along the grass or a building, you know, I might use a different strategy. But look, compared to the regular cane, it's huge. I have here an ID cane that I purchased from Ambutech. Okay, it's an ID cane. I also asked with Maxi 8, and this really, it has the straight tip. Okay, it's also thin, but it looks to me like a regular cane, you know. Okay, I'm gonna share it here in case you have low vision and you're able to see. According to Ambutech, this is an ID cane, but I don't see where the ID cane is. This is aluminum. It's cute and nice. I actually asked for a pink one and they didn't send a pink one. It's economical, but I don't know, the aluminum, they're hard to close and heavy. I like, for regular canes, I like the graphite. I'm showing my graphite regular cane. This is all. I have several. They last a long time. But this ID cane from Ambutech, I don't see where the ID cane is to identify yourself, but to me, it looks like a regular cane. Now, the size for the cane, mine is 50 inches. I asked at Braille Institute in LA, which, you know, how many inches should I get? And they told me, well, it's supposed to be under your armpit, the size. But in other videos on YouTube, they say that it's supposed to be up here, up to your chin or under your nose. I guess it really depends on a personal like. For me, I don't see myself having a cane that is all the way to my nose. It would be too long. But if you live in a place, in a country, I don't know, city, that there is a lot of obstacles. I mean, the longer the cane, the more you're able to see what obstacles and barriers are around. You know, like those people that live in countries where they have a lot of vendors on the street, open doors and signs, and my blind people actually walk off the sidewalk. I was in Mexico, and my friends told me, like, look, there is a blind guy and he just got off the sidewalk and he's walking along the road. And we ran to ask and see if he was lost, and he goes, no, that's how we walk over here, because you're not able to walk on the sidewalk. You know, it's so many people on the sidewalk, vendors, that it's almost impossible for them to walk on the sidewalk. So they actually walk off the sidewalk. And someone from Greece, I just met a guy from Greece, and he was telling me that they do the same. And I go like, oh my gosh, we're so lucky here in the United States. We have accessible streets in most places, and it's so easy for us. So maybe walking with an ID cane, I mean, it's even doable for us if we have some sight. Anyway, I'll go ahead and include the information here. If you like this video, share with others. And if you know anyone who speaks Spanish, tell them about me, everything about me. And if you want to hear my Ana adventures, subscribe to my channel and follow me on my fan page. You can find me as Blind with a Vision on Instagram, Blind with a Vision 2020. And if you want to interact on real time, I would love to hear your voice on Clubhouse. I have my club, Blind with a Vision. It's always fun hearing my subscribers and interacting with all my subscribers on real time when you guys come on stage. I love it. And if you like to belong to my WhatsApp list, go ahead and message me on WhatsApp. And the number, I'm gonna go ahead and also include it over here on the description. But the number is the +1 714-494-6902. Once again, it's the +1 714-494-6902. There you go. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll be able to find something. It's a long video, but I'm never able to do short videos. Oh my gosh, I always tell myself it's gonna be a short video, and then I talk too much. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Adios. I also have this video in Spanish. Adios, adiosito. Ciao, ciao.